Folks, BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline is every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on the $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game's over, head on over to the online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here. Enjoy the show.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. And I was going to do the horns as usual, but we're going to try something new today. This might sound different for your recording on the audio. We're doing it live. Fuck it, we're doing it live. It might be different on the video, but who cares? We're doing it live. And folks, welcome to Flyperbole. Steve Jaco, Ryan Quigley here, and we're going to get right into it. But, actually, before we get to the Flyers talk, we always have to have an interjection before we get to it. We got to have like a warm-up period before the Flyers talk. It's just only right for this show. And we got to talk about at least my beloved, and Ryan Quigley is coming to love. He's wearing the hat. He's repping them. The Philadelphia Phillies. Go for the Fightins. We're talking about the Fightins. Fightins have secured their first round bye, and it's very nice to not be heading into the last 3 games of the season sweating bullets about if the Phils are going to make it, who they're going to play. I can relax for a week with the Phillies, which is nice. I mean, the bye makes me a little nervous. I'm not going to lie about them getting rusty or something, because this is a team that has made it to the championship series 2 years straight by basically scrapping and clawing their way to the top. But at the same time, Bryce Harper, been banged up all year, could definitely use a rest. I mean, the pitching staff could definitely use a rest. Zach Wheeler, a potential Cy Young, I feel good. I'm going to take the bye and feel good about the bye, even though it hasn't necessarily worked out for teams in the past couple of years or so. But yeah, Fightins, I'm pumped. I'm pumped that they have at least home field for a round. Brucey's pumped. You might have heard him in the background. Things are good in Philadelphia, relatively speaking.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's exciting. I mean, it's impressive that they managed to get the bye. I think we knew the Phillies were going to be good. I don't know if people were expecting them to be, first round bye good, but here we are. I love this. This is good. I remember there were the same concerns when the Eagles got the first round bye in 2017. People were like, oh, is this, are they going to get rusty? They already are without Carson Wentz. Is this going to be okay for Nick Foles? Turns out it was amazing for Nick Foles. Nick Foles did very, very well, and partially because of that bye. I feel like that did have something to do with it, because he wasn't playing well before that. And then,
he was not.
Granted, he didn't play well in the divisional round either against the Falcons, but he played well enough. And
he played well enough.
Then he went ham. So that's all it really takes sometimes. But it's impressive. And honestly, I think the only thing more impressive than how good the Phillies have been all year long was their performance Wednesday night. Yes, Steve, they beat the Cubs. What was it? 8-5, 8-6?
Yeah, I mean, it was something like that. I think it was 9-6. It was maybe a pretty nice score, I think. Yeah.
Regardless.
Reverse nice, right?
Yeah. So they beat the Cubs.
Oh, 9-6 tonight.
Yeah. So they beat the Cubs 9-6 drunk. I feel like we need to keep that into consideration.
I mean, that's 2 days of drinking, because their hangover game was yesterday and they lost 10-4. They got whooped, but they're probably still drunk. This team is a bunch of lushes here. Not lushes. They go hardcore. Not JT Realmuto, but the rest of these guys, especially my guy, Kyle Schwarber. I'm looking over there at the Schwarbomb himself. That man, he could probably drink an entire truck of beer.
I think he could.
Yeah.
And dude, honestly, Marsh too.
Marsh is a madman.
Brandon Marsh gets down. He's definitely a wild man. So,
well, it's all because, you might not know this because you don't follow the Fightins as closely as I do, but the real locker room wild card MVP is Garrett Stubbs. Stubbsy is the backup catcher, and Garrett Stubbs is the vibe master general for that team. Stubbs is the guy who goes around in the locker room after they win big games, and he'll wear the bib overalls and he'll just put beers in every pocket in the overalls and start handing them out to people.
He's just egging everybody on. He's like the MC of the party, you know?
Yeah. And he's listed at 5'10", but I feel like that's a generous 5'10". Like,
he is not. Yeah, he's a tiny guy.
Stubbsy's a little guy, and I appreciate that little guy thunder from him. You know, he is a little guy with a big heart over there, our Stubbsy. And he did actually, it was hilarious last night. He did this insane athletic diving slide into first base, which is like something that never happens. Like he went like over a guy and slid head first into first base. Like it was like, are you insane? The entire team's hung over, and Stubbsy's like, whoop. Yeah. The Phils.
I do wonder why do they not do that more? Like, as someone who's not as like, educated on baseball as other people.
So for the most part, running straight through will get you to first base the most efficient and fast way. And that's because first base is the only base that you can run past and still be safe.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
So like people have proven that like if you run straight through, that's how you're going to get there the most efficiently. When people slide, it's usually pretty silly. But in this case, because he was avoiding a tag, it was a brilliant move. Insane, especially in a game that really did not mean that much. The only thing the Phillies had to play for because they clinched the division the other night against the Cubbies. So really the only thing they've had to play for this week is to get that bye, which they secured, which it is big, especially for a team that needs rest like they do. And considering, Ranger Suarez has not been the same since the All-Star break. Nola's been very good. Wheeler's been phenomenal all year. But like Taijuan Walker's garbage. I like Christopher Sanchez. Christopher Sanchez has been really good. So they have like 4 good pitchers. 2 great pitchers and 2 good pitchers, and whatever Taijuan Walker's considered. I think he's even in the bullpen at this point. But yeah, I mean, they need this rest to get those guys healthy to really, and their bullpen's really done a lot of work this year. So yeah, you know what? I'm in on the rest. Let's rest. Let's go. I would love a World Series victory. And, I'd really like for you to experience this town during playoff baseball.
Yeah.
Because you've never quite, I think the closest you've come is when you came up the night before the Eagles played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl a couple years back. And the place was nuts. Everybody was
everyone, like everything. The whole town was green. There was just an energy in the entire city. Like it felt it. You could tell that the team in this city was in the Super Bowl. Like it's a weird feeling. You can't really explain it, but you just know like there's this buzz going around. That's just it was palpable. And I remember, where'd we go? Did we go to Triangle?
We went to the Pope, baby. The Pope on Passion East.
Yeah. So we went to the Pope, and I remember just like everyone was just buzzing, exciting for the game. Yeah. Everyone knew the Eagles were going to beat the Chiefs, and people, we were just out. People were feeling great. And I was like, before the night's over, I want to just because at that point, like I'd never been in like a bar in Philadelphia before, like prior to like a major sporting event, and let alone an Eagles game, Super Bowl game. And I was like, Steve, I want to try and get an Eagles chant in before we go. And so we were just, in there enjoying it. Everyone, it was packed with people. Everyone's wearing Eagles shit. And basically just there was nothing to do the chant for. I just yelled out. All I had to do was go,
all you gotta do. E,
and then
G, L, E, S, Eagles. Like you can't not complete it. Like it's a sacrilege to not complete it there.
All you have to do is yell E, and just everyone else does it. And it's
any event in the city, which can be annoying sometimes. Like when you're at a Phillies game, if you do that, people will complete it.
Right.
Which is wrong. I like it at concerts. I think concerts it's charming.
That's fine. Yeah. But
like Phillies games, Flyers game. Well, unless they're getting beat, like. When the Flyers are at their worst, like, do Eagles chants because, like...
Do Eagles chants, like, during the broadcast, especially if you're, like, underneath Jim Jackson. Like, do it. Make sure they can hear you on NBC Sports Philly.
But when they're winning, when they're doing the right things, that shit's messed up.
Yeah, there's no reason to do that. Like, chant the team.
No,
that your
chant
team.
The team. We've got perfectly good Flyers chants. We've got a perfectly good Sixers chant. We got the 10-9-8-76ers. Phillies, we got... Let's go Phillies. We got high hopes. We got shit we could say for the Phillies.
Right.
Do not disrespect the other teams if they're succeeding. And especially in Red October, which I don't think will happen. But during Red October, my friends, do not do the Eagles chant at Citizens Bank Park. I will not stand for it. But yeah, I'm excited for you to encounter Red October in Philadelphia. It is so much fun. I am sad that as of now, I don't have any pre-sale tickets opportunities or anything like that, but I'm hoping to. I went to 2 playoff games last year. I always have a blast. It is like an incredible atmosphere, a Phillies playoff game.
Yeah.
I had never actually been to one until 2 years ago. And now I've been to, I want to say 4 or 5. Like, I've been to a lot, and it is special. It is like the kind of thing that makes you think, oh, this is why people like sports. Like, you know, as our old friend Craig Forsyth will always tell you, sports are bad, but
they're actually good.
Sports can be amazing. Yeah. And when the Phillies are playing in the playoffs, Red October in Philadelphia reminds you just how great sports can be.
Right.
Hugging random strangers, high-fiving people.
It's a unifying thing. It's a unifying thing. It brings everybody together. Like, I think I read somewhere that, you know, during like the Eagles Super Bowl run, crime rates in Philly, like, literally plummeted. Like, and that's not an exaggeration. Like, it actually happened.
Everybody's happier.
It's crazy. And so it's just when your teams are doing well and people have that passion for their teams and there's something to cheer for, it just goes to show how powerful that can be. So yeah, I'm excited to see Red October. I've never seen it before. I've never lived in a city with a sports team. And now, granted, I know that might be a cheap shot to the Richmond Flying Squirrels AA baseball team, but you know what, Steve? I stand by that.
I think you should.
The Flying Squirrels aren't real. So they're not a real team. They don't have fans. No one watches them. So
they are called the Flying Squirrels after all.
Yeah, it's true. So
yeah,
I don't know, but I'm just excited about it. I'm excited to be part of it. I'm excited to go to a bar. It's actually going to be interesting because my girlfriend's a huge Yankee fan and they're obviously going to the playoffs. So we're going to be like fighting over which game, you know, we're watching on the TV.
Yeah. So, if you're going to a bar, do not count on any other game being on.
No, there won't be. There won't be. So if they're playing on the same night, we're staying in. She gets the living room. I'll watch in the bedroom.
That's fair enough. Just come over to my house.
Or that. I can do that too. Yeah. That's actually a great idea.
Come over, get some brewskis, you know? Yeah. We got the big TV. Let's do it up.
Yeah. That's a great idea. She'll be mad, but that's the problem. She would get FOMO and then get sad that I'm not watching the game with her. Well, so I gotta stick it around probably.
Well, there you go. Well, you know, hopefully they don't play on too many of the same nights. MLB's pretty good about staggering out the games. They're much better than the NHL with that stuff.
Yeah, the NHL's just idiotic with how they
completely idiotic.
They don't know what they're doing.
They don't have no idea what they're doing. But
I will say I do love the one day a year where all 32 teams play.
Sure.
I think that's fun. And even then, they struggle with staggering games. It's fun.
They really struggle. They just there's just common sense things that they never do that you're always just frustrated by. You're like, why do you do this to us? We want to love your sport so much. And please like my sport. But no, it's run by an idiot. But what are you going to do?
It's like that famous quote by Daniel Carcillo in that video he did for the Players Tribune, completely different context and a much darker context from his point of view. But in his words, I love the sport of hockey. I don't love the NHL.
Obviously, the context is extremely different.
Very different.
It's very true. But yeah, man, I'm excited for you to encounter Red October just because the vibes, especially if the Phillies are winning, are incredible. Like, it's just a great time to walk around the city and be in it and just like feel the love from other people and the excitement. It's a really good time. So, you know, you this week experienced another Philadelphia rite of passage that I'm very excited to talk about. Now, if you mind, could you tell everybody what that rite of passage is?
Speaking of encounters, it was Tuesday night. I was making my meal prep for the week because I forgot to do it.
I feel like this is the intro to an Always Sunny episode. Like,
yeah.
Tuesday night, Philadelphia.
Yeah. Somewhere. Yeah. So basically I'm making my meal prep for the week because I forgot to do it earlier. And essentially I start hearing these drums, like a drum line, just marching down the street somewhere in the distance. I didn't know where it was coming from. but I was like, why is there a drum line? This is so weird.
And it's so loud. It sounds like it's really outside your house before it is.
Exactly. And it kind of is that way because, you got all these tall buildings, the sound is just kind of reverberating off of all the walls, and it's just, it doesn't die down. It just bounces. So it sounds close. And essentially my girlfriend's just like, she got curious. She's like, what the hell's going on? So she opens up like the little sliding door to a balcony and she looks out. She's like, oh, there's a drum line and there's a guy dressed as Elmo. And I threw my spatula into the air. I was like, Philly Elmo. And so I run out to the balcony and I'm just like, he's here.
He's here. So you're like Elf right now. Like,
I know.
Santa's here.
And my girlfriend was speechless. She's like, what the fuck is going on? Because she doesn't know the origin story or the significance.
That is some lore right there. That is Philadelphia lore.
She doesn't understand the cultural significance of Philly Elmo. And so I basically had to tell her, like, that guy is like an icon in the city. Do we know who that man is?
No, I have no idea who this man is. He wears an Elmo, like a knockoff Elmo head, like a mascot head. And like, is it like a tuxedo or something?
I think he was just wearing a hoodie when I saw him.
Or it's like a hoodie, yeah. But like, he just goes around like this, and like he goes around with like a drum line. He's at like all these big events. I had him go by my house in South Philly one time, and I captured the whole thing on my Ring cam. And
there you go.
It was during It was during halftime at the Eagles game too.
Which Eagles game?
Well, it was years ago. I forget which one.
Oh, so I thought you were saying okay.
But like it was an Eagles game.
Yeah.
No, it was like an Eagles game, and then all of a sudden, like the drum line came through at halftime. I'm like, that's amazing. Like the timing on that is phenomenal. And those things are so loud. Like there was one not involving Philly Elmo that I heard when I lived at my old house in South Philly. That I was bored one night, and I was like, I'm gonna go track this down. I'm going to go see where the hell this is coming from. Cause like I walked for blocks. I must've walked for like at least 5 minutes to find this thing. Like I couldn't, and it sounded like it was imminent. It sounded like it was around the corner. Yeah. They are so loud. Like it is impressive how loud they get. But yeah, Philly Elmo is, you have to show her the picture of like Philly Elmo jumping over like the fire.
Oh my God.
Iconic.
Yeah. It's the best. Like the funniest thing about it is that she truly had no clue why I was so excited about this fucking guy in this Elmo helmet thing and this drum line. She was like, she just did not truly understand. And so I had to sit her down and spell the whole thing out for her. I was like, that is Philly Elmo. You respect and you love and you cherish the presence of Philly Elmo in this city. And you just embrace him. That's how it goes. So
I'm getting it up here. I'm going to present for our YouTube audience right here. I'm just going to share my screen. So let's just do that. And I can share a tab. Perfect. So
amazing.
Here we go. Are you seeing this on your end? Quick.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So let's zoom in if it'll allow me. And yeah, that's the Philly Elmo picture where he is running away from the fire during was that Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah,
it's like we've got Batman here. Like this is just like as Philly as it gets. Is that like we're having very serious cultural moments here, and like some of the most like serious moments in the entire history of the city. And one of the most iconic pictures is this guy in an Elmo costume running away from a burning trash can.
It's like you said, it's a perfect encapsulation of everything that makes Philadelphia.
Yeah. Let's see. We've got Philly Elmo with a gift bag here in 2020, just walking around in the pandemic, bringing some cheer.
There you go.
Yeah. It's just
Philly Elmo's the man. Like I don't know who the man is. I would love to see this dude unmasked. And now here's
look how janky this mask is too. It's fantastic. That makes it better.
It appears that he's gone through several masks, or she have gone through several masks. Do we know who this person is? Has there been an unmasking?
I don't want to know.
It's great though.
It's great. I think it's a tradition unlike any other, unless you include Times Square.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say the Times Square underpants guy. Yeah. Look at that. It's he looks like Michael Jackson after he does the spin, and he's like, you know what I mean?
And this is awesome. Like the image of protest in Philadelphia is Elmo with a fist raised in front of a burning trash can. Like it's this. If there's one image that sums up this city, because this is the craziest city in the world. Like if you've never seen the highlight clip set to the Action News theme, like do yourself a favor and look that up. That's one of the greatest videos of all time.
Listen, I know Florida Man is like the mainstream like guy for when anything horrible or crazy or really, really weird happens. Everyone's like, oh, Florida Man probably, you know.
Yeah.
But also, like if Florida Man is 1A, Philly Man is 1B right up there.
Well, because like people talk about Florida, Ohio a lot, but like I feel like maybe the Philly news doesn't quite make the national spectrum as much.
Yeah.
Like I remember one day I was at work. I think this is when I worked at my old job in Old City. And somebody's like, yo, there's a horse on 95. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean there's a horse on 95?
Weird shit. The amount of weird shit that happens there. The fucking 95 just broke. It collapsed.
I'm going to present again because I need to show the horse. Let's see. This is going to look great for when
didn't a zebra get loose as well?
I don't remember a zebra.
Other animal got loose.
I mean, you know, what day of the week is it? Some animal is loose in the city that's just wrecking havoc. Let's see. Where is... yeah, folks, I apologize because I'm still getting used to StreamYard here. It's a great tool, and it's been a lot of fun. But it's definitely like I'm going through some learning pains here. But here we go. We've got the horse on 95 running along the shoulder here.
It's just so good.
Yeah.
Look at that. It looks like it's actually in the Kentucky Derby. Like,
yeah, right. I mean, you might as well be.
Like in that photo, it looks faster than Secretariat.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah. And this is on USA Today that this one came in. Authorities captured the horse without incident near Port Richmond.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Love that. Also confirmed there were 2 zebras that escaped from the circus in Philly and were captured running around the city. So, yeah, really, really crazy. I would do you mind? Let me show.
We're not going to show the video. So if you go to the bottom of the screen, there is a present option.
Okay, here we go.
Present that way.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen here.
Yeah.
There we go. And now here we are.
Okay,
so we
I'm
got
not seeing on my end. So let me.
You're not seeing it quite yet.
I'm not seeing it. You try it now.
Here we go.
Fascinating podcast hint for everybody.
So this is the stuff.
Oh, I have to add it to the stage. Okay. There we go. I've added it to the stage. Oh, the zebras. Wow.
We got zebras in the parking lots of Philadelphia. Here they are, just running through the wilderness of the vast mountainous region of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Fantastic. What a city. What a city.
Yeah. It's incredible. It's really, really crazy.
This is why I need the Flyers to be relevant again so that they can join the madness, because like Gritty's too good to not be part of this madness. And like Gritty needs to be a part of it. I saw actually a clip from Seth Meyers the other day where I think it was Brian Tyree Henry who was talking about spending some time here and like really enjoyed like his time here. But then he was talking about Gritty and he's like, I'd love to play Gritty. I want to be the voice of Gritty. I was like, that was great clip. I reposted on Flype the other day, but it was on Seth Meyers. Look that up if you hadn't heard it. But yeah, it was hilarious. Like, yeah, we need Gritty to be a part of the madness, and we need a proper Flyers playoff run so that we can have the Gritty memes. I want Gritty and Philly Elmo in front of
that's what I was going to say. Yeah. I need something like that happening. Also, speaking of weird shit in Philly and Gritty, did you see that Gritty was just walking down Center City just in a suit? Like there was no one with him. It was just Gritty. And it was the actual Gritty. It was not a fake.
Not even like the Secret Service guys with him, just like
no, it was just him.
Just strolling.
Like I think it was like a week ago or something. He was just walking down, the street in Center City, plain day, like nothing. Like he's just going to work or something.
Like I can't, I love the Fanatic, but I could maybe see the Fanatic doing that. I can't see Swoop doing that shit. I definitely can't see Franklin doing that.
No, honestly, I didn't even know Franklin existed until
they should bring back hip hop. Do you know who hip hop is?
I don't know hip hop.
Oh, buddy. Okay, I'm gonna present one more time. I didn't want to present anymore, but this
I got to hear about hip hop.
Oh my god, I'm gonna pull up a full picture though of hip hop. So
but just while you're doing that, just for the record, this whole discussion about Philly Elmo and just the weirdness of Philadelphia, this needs to be its own video. Like, we need to somehow cut this.
I mean, I could.
This is just excellent content. I think.
Okay, so here we go. I am about to present. Let's see. Oh, it's still presenting somewhere. Okay, great. Add to stage.
There you go.
All right, you ready for this? This is hip hop.
Oh, right, hip hop's awesome.
Hip hop was the Sixers mascot. Okay, I'm going to present one more time and stop the screen. And then we're going to try it one more time. Yeah, we know how to work the internet. It's good. This all sounds great on podcasting. But yeah,
awesome.
I'm currently sharing.
We're doing fun.
Hip hop, who was the Sixers mascot for quite a few years, who was a very muscular bunny rabbit with a bandana on and sunglasses.
Why was hip hop discontinued?
I think it felt culturally irrelevant for a couple years. And then we looked back, then we got Franklin and we all looked back and said, we made a mistake. We screwed up. We really should have kept hip hop. They should bring hip hop back because Franklin, look,
I remember hip hop. Like, I remember
Franklin is a very nice dog man or whatever.
Yeah.
But Franklin's lame. Franklin's real corny. And like, what does a dog have anything to do with the 76ers? Like, I know a rabbit doesn't, but it was like very much capitalizing on hip hop music and such.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hip hop's like really cool in a weird, extreme way. He's like the Poochie of the 76ers. And I'm here for hip hop. So yeah, I think this is my official declaration. We have to bring hip hop back because then the mascot playing field is much more level. You've got hip hop and Gritty and the Fanatic and Swoop's perfectly cromulent. You know, we're all fine with Swoop.
Swoop's fine. Yeah.
Who can argue with Swoop because he's a literal Philadelphia Eagle, you know? But
exactly.
Like, Swoop doesn't have any of the chaotic energy. Hip hop is definitely chaotic energy. Okay.
I can say right now, there's no like you take if you bring back hip hop, you take the 4 mascots for the Philadelphia's 4 major sports teams, you put them in like, you know, a parking lot brawl match against any other city's, you know, 4 main mascots. Philadelphia is wiping the floor clean in that match with the blood of their victims. Like, that would be it would be a beatdown, Steve.
I would even take on the combined power of all of New York's mascots at once. Okay. And we're talking about a lot of teams here. Okay. We got Mr. Met. I'll throw Mrs. Met in there too. And Baby Met, the whole Met family. All right. We've got the weird dragon for the Islanders. Right.
Yeah. That's irrelevant. But
I don't think the Yankees have one unless you consider the Steinbrenner family a mascot. Maybe George Costanza counts. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But the Yankees don't quite have one. Did the New York Giants have a mascot?
I don't think so. And I don't know if the Jets have one either.
Oh, what a bunch of lamos.
Yeah.
Lamos.
Like, New York sports it's just boring. Like, they suck.
What about the Knicks? Is it an 1800s doctor?
I truly cannot tell you. Let's see.
Inquiring
I don't
minds
think they do.
No,
they don't have a mascot. So the Knicks, Rangers, Yankees, Giants, Jets, none of them have a mascot. But I think the Giants mascot for a long time was that fucking license plate guy. That fucking weirdo.
Oh my God. Well, that would make the Jets mascot the fireman.
Exactly.
Was it Fireman Ed or whatever?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Why do I remember this shit? Like, I'm sitting here trying to learn like actual grad school stuff. And I'm like, guys, I just can't learn stuff. I have to remember Fireman Ed.
Do the Brooklyn Nets have a mascot? Let's check that.
It's actually the state of New Jersey as their mascot.
Brooklyn Nets. Okay, so I guess they did have a mascot, but they removed him.
Well,
They discontinued. So, all right. So New York sports teams just suck. Completely unimaginative, not fun at all.
Don't let Stacy hear you. You're away from the apartment right now.
I don't give a fuck.
She knows. Yeah.
So the Mets, I guess they're the only team with a mascot, and hate to tell you, we already know Philly Fanatic is beating Mr. Met with a barbed wire bat.
It's not even close. Come on.
Yeah. And that's, of course, homage to Grim represent. But yeah, man, it would be a bad. It'd be real bad. You know what? Let's just say Chicago's mascots. They're all dead.
Yeah. So you got Benny the Bull.
Who's good?
He's good.
He's a good one.
I like the Cubs mascot too. He's got that backwards hat.
Yeah, he's good. Okay, he's not.
But he looks like fun. He doesn't look dangerous. He just looks like he's fun. Like
his name is like Clark. Like
his name's like he's adorable, but he's not gonna hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Even if bears are ferocious sometimes, but he's a brown bear. So wait, no, black bears are the not ferocious ones. The brown bears are ones that can
brown bears can but
you.
This is like a teddy bear, so that's different.
And do the Chicago Bears also have a bear mascot?
Yeah, but he's like kind of lame.
Yeah.
It looks like kind of like a low end, low budget looking mascot. I mean, it's like slightly more expensive a costume than like the Nittany Lions costume.
I will say the Nittany Lion costume looks like it cost $10. I'm not trying to incur.
It's not good. Yeah.
I am not trying to incur the wrath of Penn State Nation, which I know is very powerful, but man, that thing looks like it cost $10. Like between the Nittany Lion and the St. Joe's Hawk, I think there's maybe $50 of budget spent between those two costumes.
But that's kind of what makes the Nittany Lions mascot like iconic, is that it looks like a stupid thing someone just found in the trash 20 minutes
with a
ago.
Scarf. With a scarf.
And then they just put a scarf on it. They're like, voila.
The scarf looks more expensive than the costume.
Yeah.
Really weird. Did you know that the St. Joe's Hawk can't stop flapping his wings during the game? And even during the anthem, he needs to do this.
I did not hear about that.
That's the things you do for a scholarship, man. Because honestly, the St. Joe's Hawk gets a full ride, to my understanding.
So on that, so slightly unrelated, but also not really unrelated. So not a mascot, but when I was covering the Golden Knights in Las Vegas, I would go to practice, and every fucking day at the Golden Knights practice facility, there was this guy. He was just a fan. Like, I don't know who he was. I don't think he worked for the team. I think he was just like a Golden Knights super fan. And he would show up inside the rink every day. They had a practice with a fucking huge flag. I'm talking, it was like 10 feet high, 10 feet tall. And so he would just come in with this goddamn flag the entire practice, stand at like the center portion of like the arena, above like where all the bleachers were, and he would just wave the shit out of this flag the whole like hour and a half period of time that fans could watch practice. And he didn't stop. He did it the whole time, and he did it every single day. And I don't know what he does for a job. I don't know if he has family or significant other. I don't know what he does with himself, but like, God damn, is that not commitment to your sports team, Steve?
These are like the kind of questions I ask about like the face paint guy at all the Philly sporting events. Like, what are you doing when you're not going to sports events? Because like, and also the fact that like, this guy astonishes me, because like I'll see him at Phillies and Flyers games the same day. Like I think he's pulled a trifecta, and I'm just imagining like, is he changing the makeup out in his car? That's my number one question. Is he going to his car and quickly scrubbing away? He's like, I got to get ready for it. I got to shift into Phil's mode now.
Right. Yeah.
What a life.
Actually, you know what? Speaking of, sports fans and all that, I actually did figure out the Knicks do have a mascot, and it is Spike Lee.
Perfect.
Spike Lee is the mascot.
No notes.
He's the mascot.
Clearly, this is the ad break goes right here, because that's perfect.
Yeah. We got some Flyers to talk about. So
Flyers to talk about.
Joking
and this
around.
is a great like let's get right into it.
We were joking.
I tried to get into it. I did try to get into Flyers mode.
Did. We were joking around before the show how it was like, man, we got a light Flyers scheduled today. And I was like, don't worry, the intro will take 25 minutes. It took 35 minutes. So we can jump right in. And luckily this is actually okay because me and Steve we don't have a ton of notes this week. We're actually going to keep it kind of short. So
I'm back in the office. I ain't got time for notes.
We both have to wake up very early.
I got to commute.
Yeah. We got some work to do tomorrow.
I got to take that Patco.
Yeah, that's right. So
over to New Jersey.
But we do have some news and notes regarding the Flyers.
So the only notes I had on the sheet today were Philly Elmo and training camp cuts. And then you have added Ronnie Attard stinks.
I mean, let's jump right in, Steve.
So
let's jump into the roster cuts.
Former metal star Ronnie Attard.
That's right. So we'll jump into the roster cuts. So earlier today on Wednesday, the Flyers assigned 5 players to their respective junior teams. So those players are Sam Hillebrandt, a goalie, Carson Bjarnason, another goalie, Spencer Gill, defenseman, Carter Sutherland, defenseman, and Josh Zakreski, who's a forward. So those 5 dudes are going back to the CHL, which is, of course, the culmination of OHL, WHL, and QMJHL.
Yeah. I'm going to miss Carson Bjarnason.
I was going to say.
That's the name that you say like the Swedish chef and no other way. Carson Bjarnason.
Yeah, and it's just funny because he's Canadian. So, like, it's just, I don't know.
Carson Bjarnason.
Carson Bjarnason, he looked good. He looked good, yeah. And I know that there was a lot of concern about him because, like, he didn't exactly look great during the season last year. And then I think it was rookie camp or something, or development camp, he didn't look great, like, at all. Yeah. And people were like, eesh, this might not, go great for him. And then he comes in for, that rookie series against the Rangers and he looked real good.
He looked great in that game. Yeah.
Then he looked great in, against Washington as well. So he had a good training camp. He got sent down early. And that should not be surprising. He's still very, very young, and goalies tend to take a while to, fully develop. It's very, very rare that a goalie comes into the NHL at 20, 21 years old. Someone show this to Alexei Kolosov. But yeah, so Carson Bjarnason going back to his junior team where he should be. And we'll see if his numbers improve this year.
So I liked what I saw. It was a nice glimpse, and we need goaltending depth right now. That's for sure.
Yeah. Especially with listen, man, we don't know. Ivan Fedotov looked fine. I would like it if he looked good.
Yeah, I was, and again, I'm hoping that training camp is a lot of the time to work out these kinks.
Right.
But it doesn't make me feel great that he's going from Siberia or wherever he was in Russia. And granted, he was playing in the KHL, but going to the NHL and not really getting any adjustment period, not getting any time in the AHL, it's a little concerning. I would prefer if he didn't have to jump immediately into being the NHL backup goaltender.
Right. And granted, maybe you're right. Maybe he just needs this preseason. I'm hoping the Flyers give him lots of action this preseason because I think he needs it. It's not like he's going to be getting, the lion's share of the games during the regular season. Yes, he's the backup and yes, he's going to play, but I think we can all safely assume that it'll probably be Sam Ersson who's going to probably start. I think it's safe to say he would start 45, 50 games. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility.
Probably not.
So, Fedotov is going to play and he's going to have some time off between starts. So you might as well get him busy now, get him used to it, and just kind of work out those kinks, like you said, in preparation for the regular season. So when it does come time for him to start, he looks better. So yeah, I don't know. I would like to, I don't know. To your point, yeah, the Flyers need some extra goaltending depth with the uncertainty of Ivan Fedotov. So maybe he'll prove us wrong. We'll see.
I would like if he proved us wrong. I would like if he I'm giving him a couple starts before really judging him, but given his age, the pressure is going to be on pretty quick. Because what is he, 27?
Yeah, he's not young.
He's got a couple years on Sam Ersson over there.
Right. Yeah. So he's an older goalie. And I don't know. It's just, you want to see a little bit more from him. And granted, he's had a crazy story. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here.
It's worth a shot, but like, yeah, I don't know how much long of a record he's going to have. I mean, obviously the contract kind of hinders the Flyers there, but you could always get creative with that kind of stuff if need be. But again, we're talking about 2 preseason games at this point. So who's to really say? But it's a little worrisome heading into the season. And the Flyers did make a depth signing for goaltending today in the AHL, right?
They did. Yes.
Pronouncing this name is going to be an adventure for me, but I'm going to do my best here. Eetu Makiniemi. Is that correct?
I believe that's right.
Eetu Makiniemi.
You always know, why is it always, if there's Niemi in your last name, it's probably you're going to be a goalie.
Right.
Niemi.
Antti
Niemi. Yeah, so just, I don't know. It seems like
that's the only Niemi I know, but he's a goalie.
I thought there was another Niemi. Maybe I'm wrong.
Niemi of the Chicago Niemies.
But so they signed him. Last year he played okay in the AHL. He only played in 18 games. He had a 3.14 goals against average and a 900 save percentage. So like, not crazy good. But it's a guy, so that's cool. You like to see a guy.
It's a warm body, and that's really what they need right now.
Right.
But man, it's really worrisome if there is an injury to Ersson or Fedotov.
That's bad.
Who's going to come in? Because like Cal Peterson, as we have seen, not great, Bob. Not even good. Like not even serviceable. He's just not an NHL goaltender.
He's not. Yeah, I was going to say he's not an NHL player. And it's a shame because there was that time where it looked like he could be a starter one day when he was working behind Jonathan Quick. Yeah. Like the Kings, tried to jump it, sign him early with hopes that he would be a really good goalie. And it ended up biting them in the ass. And now, they traded him away and the Flyers are dealing with that now. But
and the thing is, the Flyers didn't plan for this. Like Peterson was just a throw in on the Provorov Walker deal. Like Peterson was just like, we'll give you a first rounder and Sean Walker, but like you're gonna have to take a shitty contract on. It's like,
right.
No problem. And like the plans were you had Carter Hart and Sam Ersson going into last season. Obviously, we know what happened with Carter Hart. And then the plan was from there, it's like, okay, let's move on. Let's see what Fedotov can bring. And on top of that, Fedotov also, just to go back to that briefly, is also like a great play as far as having somebody from Matvei Mishkov to talk to.
Right. Yeah.
I really like that. We'll get into
brings value. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely want to talk about that briefly. But, it was like, all right, let's see what Fedotov has. And we're bringing Kolosov over. So hopefully one of these guys can be the solution. And Kolosov will get a lot of time playing at the AHL as the presumable starter.
Right.
And then everything that Kolosov has done is really, thrown a wrench into the works because they don't want Cal Peterson to be the starter in the AHL. They absolutely do not want that.
Yeah, they want a prospect there.
They would have gotten rid of Cal Peterson by this point if they could have, but they frankly need a warm body. They need somebody at the AHL level, and because it's still, even though they've got questionable coaching decisions down there and everything, it's still an important tool for development, especially, with some of the exciting players we've seen in camp and at the rookie development games and stuff like that. So like, you do need somebody to play net down there. It's just kind of crazy that it's come down to like next man up. Like you might as well be calling Michael Layton and see what that guy's up to at this point.
Well, they were planning on letting that guy be Alexei Kolosov.
Right. Exactly.
That's not happening now. So now it's just like, shit, what do we do?
Right. And Bjarnsson's not ready.
He's going to the CHL. So it's like, he's going back to Canada.
Yeah.
So looks like we're going to have another rough year of goaltending. And
all apologies to Maddie going
Yeah,
up there and
really.
seeing that, because
I
Maddie
know.
is definitely our number one Phantoms resource on this blog.
Mhm.
And please subscribe to Press Tree Hockey. But
Yes.
Maddie's definitely our go-to Phantoms person, and man, she is in for some pain this season, and I feel bad for her.
Yeah. But at least she gets to watch some of these guys, Steve, who were sent down to the AHL Wednesday. Those players are Matteo Mann, a defenseman.
Too much man.
He's quite a large man.
Quite a great deal of man.
Emil Chouinard.
Swiss chard.
Swiss cheese.
Emil Swiss chard. Yeah.
He's a defenseman. Ethan Sampson, he's a defenseman.
Pronounce
as well.
that one. That's an easy one.
And Sam Sedley, that's also a defenseman. And then 5 forwards. Those forwards are Sawyer Bolton.
That's a fake name.
Very fake ass name, but people liked his game a little bit earlier on in camp, so that was kind of interesting. But too bad he's going to the AHL. Then we got Nick Capone.
Nick
relation
Capone
to Al Capone.
I was going to say he's Al's great grandson.
Maybe he is. I don't know.
I'm making that up.
I'm going to assume no. Alexi Gendron. I thought he actually stood out to me during the rookie series. I thought he was kind of flying around out there. So I'm a little surprised he went back as early as he did.
Well, I'm hoping he gets called up so we can have his Gendron reveal party.
That would be awesome. I would love that.
Yeah, it was just, somebody like pops open a cake and it's a Gendron inside.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know, like Gendron he's not like this, prized prospect or anything like that, but he's put up some good numbers in the QMJHL. So like, maybe they got something in him. He's only 20 years old, so he's still got some developing to do. He's undersized, so you don't love that, but still interesting. I thought he stood out a little bit. He showed me some stuff out there, Steve. Then of course we got Matthew Miller, and then Zaid Wisdom, part of the first round of cuts. Remember when Zaid Wisdom was considered like a possible like dark horse to make the Flyers like the year he got drafted?
That one bums me out because
I liked him.
Everything I heard about him was like that dude could be your Wayne Simmons replacement.
Yeah, there were a lot of people saying that.
If not even like Wayne Simmons, like a nice like gritty bottom 6 forward. Somebody who brings a real Philly attitude to the game kind of thing. Right. And he's had a lot of injury problems. It just has not worked out for him so far. So I'm hoping he can bounce back with the Phantoms and have a strong year. But it's a bummer that like he was like here and now he's just fallen so far at this point as far as his standing in the organization goes. And it's tough right now because the forward depth is really like where their strength lies, with the exception of center.
Yeah.
And it's a hard lineup to crack right now because we're looking already at like somebody that shouldn't be on the third line being on the third line, maybe 2 guys, because like we're talking about like Farabee, Brink, maybe even like a Tippett or somebody being on the third line, which is like insane to think about, which is a great problem for the Flyers.
Yeah, it's good.
If they had center depth to go along with that, it'd feel even better. But like, I'll take what I can get, and the wing depth is really good right now.
Still just a shame because he seemed like one of those guys who would be so perfect for a Philly hockey team.
Yeah.
And it's looking like he just might not be it. So
yeah,
maybe he'll have a real good season and he'll show us something, but we need to see it. So
that'd be nice. But we're pulling for you, Zane. For Zaid. We're pulling for you, Zaid.
Now, one player I want to touch on real quick who was not sent down, but in all likelihood will be sent down to the AHL very, very, very soon. It's Ronnie Attard, Steve.
Ronnie
Attard has been flirting with an NHL roster spot for a couple of years now, I'd say.
You think it has anything to do with the fact that he's right-handed and large?
It just might have a little something to do with that. Personally, I have a bit of a bone to pick with Ronnie Attard. He stole Oscar Lindblom's number. Lindblom, 23 forever.
Oski boy.
Oski boy is the best. But yeah, so I mean, you look at Ronnie Attard, he's played in NHL games the last 3 years. So like clearly the Flyers have been trying to see something out of him. And he just really hasn't shown much of anything. You know, the big issue with him is that he hasn't separated himself from some of these other younger defensemen. So like Oliver Bonk comes in and like, you know, he's already, you know, probably above him in the pecking order. And then he's already been usurped by some other younger guys like Emile Andre and Cam York. Cam York was drafted after him. Cam York is already looking like a very good NHL defenseman. Ronnie Attard is 25, dude. Like, he's not young anymore at this point. Like, this had to be his year to kind of like break into the NHL and prove himself as a useful NHLer. And in training camp, dude, he has not done that at all. Specifically against the Canadiens, he was miserable, like absolutely treacherously bad.
That was a rough game. I mean, a
lot of bad turnovers that he was solely responsible for. I know one of them in particular led directly to a goal. He just passed it straight to the other team, and then it immediately led to a goal. So not a great time for him. I know plus minus is kind of like an overrated stat, but like when you're -3 in a game, that's not good. You don't want to be -3. Yeah. So if you're like -1 or even -2, whatever shit happens. But like if you're -3, like that tends to mean that you're a problem a little bit. So, doesn't guarantee it, but it definitely, all signs point to you being not good. So he had a really, really, really rough night against the Canadiens, and it's not going to help him at all because he was kind of fighting for his NHL life there. And honestly, at this point, it's only a matter of time before he too gets sent back down to the Phantoms. So
don't not looking good for him. And you know what's also not helping him is all of a sudden the Flyers have a decent amount of names that are right-handed defensemen in the system. I mean, you know, Jamie Drysdale's obviously making the team, and the way he's skating, I'm excited to see what he can do this year. But on top of that, I mean, you've got Eric Johnson, you've got Ryan Ellis is still listed, but clearly not him. Oliver Bonk, Louis Belpedio. We've got Helge Grans, who is younger and taller by an inch. Rasmus Ristolainen, Risto, as we like to call him. You know, there are some guys that are right-handed that, you know, I don't know too much about Grans, but given how Attard's played, you know, that's definitely seems like an upgrade over him.
One guy that also is right-handed, and he's a little bit bigger, Spencer Gill. So he just got sent back down, but I think the Flyers like him.
It's a hockey name right there.
He had a pretty solid, I thought he had a decent summer for someone who was, you know, just drafted. He stood out a few times during the rookie game or during the rookie series against the Rangers. You know, still like not even close to NHL ready, but like he showed some signs of like having serious potential. So that's another guy to worry about. So honestly, Ronnie Attard, it's a shame, but I think this is the end of the road for him. I don't think he's I don't think he has a really good shot at being an NHL player. So hate to say it, but that's the reality. So on to the next one.
On to the next one. And look, there's plenty of names right now, and there's a lot of guys coming through the system. So yeah, there are a few guys that were sent down. We're wondering who is next because they're in the process of finalizing the NHL roster. There's a lot of guys that we know are making it, you know, like everybody from last year is making the NHL roster. Bobby Brink absolutely blew the doors off in Washington. Like Bobby Brink is ready to make this roster.
And they can't send him down.
They can't send him down. So Bobby Brink is like making the scene, and I'm excited to see what he can bring. But yeah, like guys like Barkey's going to go back. You know, Barkey needs some time, but Barkey's fun. There's a lot of obvious candidates, but who are the guys on the bubble? There's not a lot of guys on the bubble. Matvei Mishkov's obviously making the roster, or else people are going to riot. And
Jett Luchanko is putting himself up there. Like, I don't know. It's not a lock that he makes the team. I'm not even sure if he should make the team, but like he's really kind of forcing the Flyers' hand here.
I think he's been the single most exciting thing that's come out of the preseason so far, besides Mishkov. Like, Mishkov is obviously thrilling, but the way Jett has played is like, holy shit. Like, I see why the Flyers took him early now.
I think you could argue that he's been almost as exciting as Mishkov.
I think you could. He's been like the speed, living up to the namesake there, the face-off ability.
His two-way play has been outstanding.
It's awesome, man. Like, I don't know what his ceiling is. And what's great is he is super young. Like, this motherfucker, he was born in 2006. Okay. This guy was born in 2006. He is young as hell.
Halo 2 came out before he was born.
I graduated college less than a year after he was born.
Sickening.
It's sickening.
Sickening stuff.
But you know what? It's not sickening as a Flyers fan. It's not sickening as somebody who follows this team and saw this team reach and take him early, because they did take him early. There's no denying that. But to see the skill set that made them take him early. And look, I totally buy the argument that it's too early for him. Like, I totally understand that. It is probably too early for him. But I don't know, man. Like, what he's displayed so far, and I'd love to see him in a couple more games. Like, I would love to give him some tryout time. We were kind of arguing about it in the BSH Slack earlier today. Like, I think Joe pushed so much against it that he talked me into it. Like, I started to get like, no, I want him here now. I want him here now. It's exciting. And like, I'm ready for the Flyers to be exciting again. Like, I saw Fran from Flyers Goal Scored By at the Pearl Jam show a couple of weeks ago. And I was hanging out. We had a whole little Philly Flyers Twitter area there, because when I met up with Kelly, she was with Fran and Sarah Baker. So like, I showed up, was like, oh, well, it's like Philly Flyers Twitter. I don't know why I keep saying Philly Flyers, but like Flyers Twitter, like 2012 over here. But Fran's like, listen, the thing about Steve, he was talking to Emily when he said this, the thing about Steve is, when the Flyers do win that cup, we're going to spot each other on Broad Street. We're going to like lock eyes and we're going to hug, and it's going to be awesome. Like, that kind of thing. And it's 100% true. But like, we're just so desperate for exciting young talent.
Yeah.
And this is a guy that has been exciting. We are thrilled to see him. I want to watch him grow old with Matvei Mishkov. I want them to be best friends. I want to give Jett Luchanko Duolingo Russian lessons right now. I will pay for them personally. Let's make it happen. Let's make these guys besties. Did we just become best friends? They're going to build bunk beds. I'm into it. Let's go, Jett.
Let me see a Flyers version of the Backstrom Ovechkin connection.
Yes.
Let me see it. Let me see it right now.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Let me see it right now. Obviously, they're two totally different players from those two. Doesn't matter. I want to see that happen. I want to see the two guys come in and just be best friends, and they just play their whole career together. That'd be fun. Yeah. So, real quick, Steve, just kind of, rapid fire. Who are a couple of players aside from Luchanko and Michkov who you think are challenging for spots?
Oh man, I know Samu's not challenging for a spot, but I've liked a lot of what I've seen from Samu this year. So I think he's going to get some NHL time this year. So I'm intrigued. I think he's shown some great creativity. Other guys, I mean, they friggin' love Hunter McDonald with that 6'4", 205 frame over there. He is a big boy. So I wouldn't be shocked if
they love him so much.
They love Hunter McDonald. So I wouldn't be shocked if Hunter McDonald got a little time this year. I don't think he's going to make the roster. Like, I think they're pretty full up on defense, to be honest.
Yeah. Like, honestly, the way I look at it, like, I kind of see Hunter McDonald being the new Ronnie Attard. So, like, if they're in a pinch and they need a guy to come up from the Phantoms to be like their, sixth defenseman and take on sheltered minutes, I feel like that would be Hunter McDonald, because he's big and he's strong and they just love him. They seem to love this kid. So they love him so much that even if he's not good, I am ecstatic to see him play hockey. I just can't wait. So in the NHL, I should say, I'm excited to see him play NHL hockey.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, outside of like Jett's the only real like bubble guy, and I'm like 90% sure Jett is gonna go back.
Yeah, unless he just is going ham still in every game he plays.
Dude, I'm totally in because like I want to see this dude as the 3C. I think that would be honestly, I think that would be pretty thrilling for the Flyers if they had him there.
So. Yeah.
And that's the one area where they really need they need not a warm body, they need some talent. They need center depth. We've been talking about it, and like this guy's the future. I want to see what he has. So like, because like, I don't know, I like Noah Cates, but like Noah Cates isn't like ideal as your 3C.
No.
Like in a perfect world, like Noah Cates is either like a winger on like the third line or he's your fourth line center. Yeah. You know, I would much rather have Jett Luchanko there, and I think he's going to be thrilling. And the thing is also his team sucks. What is he in the OHL?
Yeah, the Guelph Storm.
Guelph Storm, and they suck from everything I've heard. And I did see somebody in the Slack earlier say there was a rumor about him getting traded within the OHL, which I'm sure
that would be good.
Yeah. I wonder if Danny Briere is like trying to pull the strings there. He's actually making the trade calls on behalf. He's like, hey, what do you think about trading this guy? Yeah, I think you should trade this guy. He's throwing on a fake mustache for the Zoom calls.
Exactly. Yeah. What are you talking about? I'm absolutely the GM for the Guelph Storm. Yeah. No, I mean, that wouldn't be a bad outcome for him. Send him to a team that's actually good and let him compete for a championship in the OHL.
But like, I don't know, man. Like, I think the Flyers have gotten pretty interesting at developing young players, at least at the NHL level. The AHL, I'm questioning that shit all day. But at the NHL level, I think they're getting pretty good at it. Like, I think they've had some good success stories in recent years. Travis Konechny is not the youngest player, but the strides he's taken on defense in the past few years has been amazing. And if you look over at like Cam York's development, Cam York went from being in the doghouse with John Tortorella to being one of his favorite players. So you know, they have shown and for a guy like Luchanko, who's already shown prowess at two-way play, I'm intrigued to see like what kind of development they could do with him at the NHL level right now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I think it would be cool. I'm not ready to say he's definitely an NHL player yet, but it's definitely he's making us all think.
So, I like what I see.
I do too.
I like what I see.
I do too.
Yeah, I don't know if there's that many bubble guys besides him. Do you see anybody else?
He's the real like bubble guy.
Yeah.
There are some other guys who are like dark horse candidates. But in terms of being on the bubble for me, I guess that's how it should really be phrased. Like, the Hunter McDonalds, the Sam Tuamalas, those are dark horse guys.
Those are dark horse guys.
Really, the only bubble guy, because Michkov's making the team. The only real bubble guy
if Matvei Michkov does not make the team,
he's going back to Russia.
I think people he's going back to Russia, but I think people are also going to like they're going to riot. Like the season ticket holders are actually going to like ask for refunds. Like, it will be a disaster.
It
ain't happening, folks.
They would burn down. They'd burn down the Farg before they even had a chance to change the name.
Like, have you seen him play? He's already got chemistry with Morgan Frost.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like, what was he playing with? Morgan Frost and Joel Farabee? Or no, it wasn't Joel Farabee. It was Owen Tippett.
Yeah,
which is like
great line. Yeah. I like that line.
It injects that straight into my veins, which is a terrible thing to mimic on the YouTube, but whatever. But anyway, I think there's not that many storylines, but Jett's definitely an intriguing one. Next week, we're really going to get into the nitty gritty and break down like who's left, what we're looking at. I think it's been a fun camp. I'm excited to see the remainder of these preseason games, and you're going to be in the building for tomorrow's, right?
I'm going to be in the building on Thursday and Saturday for both of these preseason games. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing how these young guys look. And
I believe you'll be providing updates on social media when you're in the building for those games. Is that not right?
That is true. And I'll be providing those updates not only on my personal, which is at Ryan Quigz with a Z, but on BroadStreetHockey.com, Broad ST Hockey on Twitter. So yeah, you should follow BroadStreetHockeyTwitter.com.
Oh, baby. Follow the Quigster over on those social media channels right there, and you won't regret it, or maybe you will, but I don't care. Sorry, not sorry.
Very good chance you will, but that's all right.
It's all good on the hood.
We all have regrets.
We all have regrets over there. Folks, follow Ryan Quigz. You can follow me at Flyperbole. there it is right there. That's over on Blue Sky and Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff. And we will have video clips that's still going. Well, we're up in the video clips. Okay. I'm going to try and do a couple each week. So Instagram, TikTok for the video clips, YouTube, we got the videos going up. We're going to try to do a lot of video stuff this year. We might even do some live streams. If that's something that's interesting to you, please reach out if you are intrigued by that, because we're trying to gauge interest on that stuff. So yeah, we're trying to really up our game this upcoming season. We're very excited, and we got Mishkov Mania here, and we want you to have it too.
It's an amazing time. And if you're not on the wagon, jump on it.
Jump on, baby.
It's time. It's time to get down on it.
Jump
I just referenced two very important songs in Soul within like a 5-second span without meaning to. Get down on it and jump on it. So,
also, I love that I'm back in my office, and my office chair, I forgot how like it sinks on me gradually. So I hope y'all have enjoyed watching me like shrink throughout the show slowly. I'll probably have to do more stuff with the standing desk, but that's a story for another day. So it's Ryan Quigz with a Z. It's Flyperbole. It's at Esteban, all that fun stuff. Flyperbole for the hockey stuff, though, please. And thank you. And Broad Street Hockey. Follow Broad Street Hockey. Subscribe. We have so much tangy tent. We have so many good articles. Please check it all out. Thank you to the good people over at Bet Online for sponsoring the show. Bet Online, the game starts here. And folks, we're going to wrap everything up. Thank you so much for listening. We love and cherish you all. And until next time, in the words of the great Gene Hart, good night and good hockey. Wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow.